All right, so you want to make $1 million by the time you hit 30. That makes sense, and that's a good goal. And that's actually a goal that I see all the time with my students. But usually that's where it ends. Like, oh yeah, I want to make $1 million. Cool. There's people that are 30 that want to make $1 million by the time they hit 40. And then that same person hits 40. They want to make $1 million by the time they hit 50. Just never happens. Hey everyone, my name's Nolan. My students call me Professor G, and it is my passion helping young people understand personal finance, the ins and outs of starting a business. Let's do this. I have a couple steps for you to think about. So here we go. Step number 1, definitely start a business in some capacity. That can be a side hustle, that can be your main gig, whatever that may be. Something that you are excited about, something that gets you up early in the morning, keeps you up late at night, something that you know way more about than other people, right? Like for me, my whole thing has always been health and fitness. And so I started when I was 18 or 19, I started with a nutrition company, then expanded into 2 different stores, supplements and things like that. And now we own a gym. I've always been interested in health and fitness. It's something that I really care about. So what is that for you? And how then can you turn that into something that could actually make you some money? Next is that you're gonna wanna start a career of some sort. Even if you take number 1, which was to start a business, and that's your main goal, cool. I would still recommend starting some type of a career, especially those of you that have just graduated college and have a degree. Use that degree. A lot of people are looking for that get rich quick or how I can just make a whole bunch of money in the stock market. Well, the thing that they don't teach you, you need money to put into the stock market. You need money to invest. So the best way to do that is going to be to start your career, start getting your bearings a little bit and make some money. And with that money, make sure you save it. Don't go and buy a Lambo. Just save some money, hold on to it, learn what you're good at, learn what you like, learn what you don't like. The other thing is, at your career or full-time job, they're going to give you a 401k match, hopefully. And if your company gives you a 401k match, you take the 401k match, okay? That is free money. There's no other place where they say, hey, I'm gonna give you $50,000, $60,000 a year. Oh, and by the way, I'll give you a little extra money for free if you want it. And what I mean by that is you have a choice in this 401k. They're going to ask you, hey, do you want to give 2 or 3 or 4% of your paycheck every month to this 401k? And at first, you don't really want to give up 4% of your paycheck. But they say, hey, we'll match that. So if you give us $100, $200, $300, we'll match that, give you that free money. The only thing is, that you can't touch it until you retire. So it's an incentive program for you to be able to save money for your retirement. So when people say that they want to make $1 million or they're a millionaire, part of that money that they're counting is money that's for retirement. Doesn't necessarily mean that they have $1 million sitting in their bank account. It's usually tied up in their house or in retirement or in things like that. So that counts as part of your $1 million to age 30. Step number 3, house hack. You basically buy some type of a house or place to live that has available living for other people. What I mean by that is, say you buy a 3-bedroom house. You yourself only need 1 bedroom, so you can rent out those other 2 bedrooms. Or even better, what if you buy a duplex or a triplex, 2 or 3 different properties in one, and they have their own enclosed walls? You can live in one of them and have somebody else live in another. As soon as you can do this, that would be huge. As if you're not owning your property, then you're renting, which renting isn't the end of the world. I did it for the first 10 years of my adult life, but I do recommend that if you can buy some type of a house, house hacking is going to be your best bet. You buy the house, your mortgage every month is $2,500 to $3,000. If you have 3 bedrooms, you charge $1,000 a bedroom to each one of those, and now you have $2,000 coming in from other people, and then you have $1,000 from yourself. And now with that $3,000, you're only having to pay $1,000, 1/3 of what that actually equals. While they pay down the loan for you, within a couple of years, those 2 roommates have helped you pay down, $100,000 in 3 years or so. When you go to sell the house, if you sell it for $500,000 but you've paid off $100,000, when you sell that, you only have to pay back the $400,000 that's due, and now you just made $100,000 of profit. With that money, you can go out and you can buy 2 houses now and then be able to rent one of them out. Within 10 years, I paid about $250,000 into renting as we were getting our businesses going. Looking back on that, I just wish that we would have put that money into a house. So that's what I'm hoping for you guys. And on that note, the 4th tip that I have for you guys is to just invest early and often and consistently. In my classes, we talk about investing and we talk about compound interest. The most important thing about compound interest is the time. Somebody who gets to invest at 20 years old is going to make more money overall than somebody who invests at 40 years old if they put in the same amount every year. Very, very important that you guys start to put your money somewhere. Now, I don't mean putting your money into like Dogecoin or GameStop or some other meme stock. I always recommend just putting your money into something safe like the S&P 500 or the Total Stock Market Index Fund. I always recommend index funds or ETFs. The reason why I recommend those is because they're the safest, and traditionally they've brought anywhere from 7 to 11% per year. Something that I do is every time that I get a paycheck or every time we make a sale, I automatically know 15 to 20% of that is going into investments right away. So if I make $100, I just think of it as I made $80. I want it to go into an account that turns into more money long term, and I can live comfortably off of 80% or even 70% of whatever it is that I make. Have a good idea of what it is that you actually need to survive. Yes, it's a very smart idea to invest long term and to invest as much money as possible, but it's not a smart idea for you to invest like your grocery money or your rent. You're going to need that money at some point, and you're going to have to take that money out of the stock market. And you don't want to take the money out unless you've planned for it, because usually what happens is the stock market goes up and down. It just does that randomly. And so if you have to take it out on a day that it's down, now you've lost money. Don't invest money that you absolutely need. Step number 5. This is the most important step out of this whole video. So if you don't get anything else, please listen to this. Understanding that making $1 million by the time you hit 30 is an awesome goal. And if you do that, that would be amazing. Most of the time, if you're gonna listen to some of these gurus that tell you exactly how to make $1 million by 30, they're gonna tell you things like forego all your friendships and tell your family, see you later, and let everyone go, and you have to be the lone wolf and the lion eats by himself. And I don't know about you, but I've found that the best part of life is when you get to celebrate things with people or get to hang out with people. And so if you're so deeply consumed in just making $1 million, so much so that you forego all your relationships, you probably will make that $1 million. Probably might make $2 million. But when you go to spend that money and go have fun, who's going to be there with you? Probably just going to be people that know that you have that millions of dollars and know that you're going to pay for everything. And so yeah, they're going to be there with you during that time, but it's not going to be a real relationship. To me, it's never been about the actual number. To me, it's been an idea rather than a number. For example, for me, I've always told my students that my driving force is to be able to have time freedom. Mine has been long-term or overall in life, how can I make it so that I can go to the beach for a week and I won't have to just lose a week of pay by doing that? How can I go and visit Europe and still have money coming in through investments or through businesses or through other things so that I don't have to worry and that going on that vacation can be stress-free? That's what's been driving me. What's going to drive you? And some people, it's just that amount of money. What is it exactly that you want? So, if you've made it this far, congrats. You've made it further than a lot of my students in class. So here's the SparkNotes version for those of you that are kind of like myself and just like to have a bam, bam, bam. So, number 1, start a business. Number 2, we got start a career. Try to get that 401k started. Number 3 would be a little bit tougher, but it's to house hack. See if you can save up as much money as you can for the next year or 2, and then see if you can put that money into equity for a home of some sort. Number 4 would be investing early, often, and consistently into something that you understand, and definitely don't put all of your money into that investment. 5th, and most importantly, understand what it is that you care about, what it is that you ultimately want, and start to make moves towards that. And with that, the homework for tonight is to figure out number 5. Basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out your why. What is it that is going to drive you? What is the overall big idea? Is it that you want to see that number, that $1 million? Is it time freedom? Is it to not really have to look at your bank account to know if you're going to be able to buy groceries next month? What is it that is going to drive you? And if you have a little extra time in the week, I want you to focus on number 1 as well, starting a business. Because I believe that every single person should have some type of business, whether it be flipping Pokemon cards, starting a shoe buy and sell hustle, starting a storefront, ice cream shop, or an ice cream truck. There's so many different types of businesses and ways to do business and ways to make money that should make it so that you don't stress out and that you can be a blessing to others. Thanks, guys. Professor G out.